fast and furious already here at Gateway Center Arena. That's how Coach Becky Hammons wants it, because the Aces want to run the floor. They are third in the W in fast break points, averaging 14 points per game. But Coach Tanisha Wright is looking for her defense to dictate. They're number one in the W in holding teams to just 8 points per game. We also know that the Skyhawks had their most efficient game in team history, 62% from the field against the Go-Go back in November. Even with its Big 12 bid, but a Gulf Coast offense that had 5 3-and-outs in the second quarter and a Bull Sharks defense that couldn't stop the run cost them the chance to do. Dominant game against Mississippi State, but of course, in that Mississippi State game, Juju Watkins goes down early. But when you look at the way that USC responded, was that a game where you feel like they made a statement? Was this their finest hour in showing what they were able to do without their star? Then what they want to do is sprint back in transition, because sometimes Jackson State does struggle when they're in their half-court offense. Also, they want to cover the rim like they've been doing and limit Jackson State's opportunity. Cloak, we'll say Cloak, a little bit of Cloak with what's going on with him. But ultimately speaking, we know he's not going to be 100%. That said, with Cooper Flagg not being 100% and with Malik Brown dealing with injury a bit there, how will Duke be able to take that dominance from their run in the ACC through this tournament? Asia, you guys got off to a little bit of a slow start, but then you were able to get going in transition. Also, points in the paint. How were you able to do that?
Like you said, just points in the paint, creating good shots for us. Like, we're getting good looks, we're just not making them, and that's just how the game goes. But as long as our defense is pretty decent on that end, it kind of takes care of everything else. So we just really locked in the defensive end.
Yeah, defense was definitely leading the way, and obviously the Dream had a little bit of an opportunity to come back towards the end of the second quarter. What do you guys want to do in that second half to close this out?
Basketball is a game of runs, so it's going to happen, but we just can't let it lull. We can't let it carry over. So coming into the half, we got to have high energy and make sure that we're getting good looks at all times.
Thanks, Asia. Good luck in that second half.
Thank you.
Tenitra, what about for you? What should the fans be paying attention to?
The defensive front, particularly on the edge, and also some sneaky battles in the D-backs, okay, amongst the D-backs. So going into the defensive front, you know, there are a lot of veterans, and one of the things that you hear from the Falcons all the time is it's about, you know, the prove-it contracts, right?
Yep.
And that everybody's in competition. Arthur Smith talks about it all the time. I actually think that's going to be true here, because you got a couple of players that are in some prove-it positions who were not acquired in free agency. We're talking Ade Ogundeji and Arnold Ebiketie, 2- and 3-year players that it's your opportunity to shine or not shine, because there are some guys like Lorenzo Carter and like Calais Campbell, David Onyemata, et cetera, who are going to be looking for the opportunity to get as many snaps as possible. And then over in the DB's room, I look at the safeties. That's going to be very intriguing to me, because you've got Jesse Bates III, and he's coming in. Of course, he's going to be looking for minutes on top of minutes on top of minutes. But then you look at like that kind of rounding out space. Where does Jalen Hawkins fall in all of this? He's a guy who started trending well last season and then just kind of fell off a little bit. So if he's going to want to really be there at a strong safety position just to be able to battle Jesse Bates III, he's going to have to show and prove early. So check out on that backside the defensive battle lurking in the safety spot. Collapsing that defense and the kick out, definitely key for them. And as storied as it is, the Bruins don't have to beat UConn's history, right? They don't have to beat the storied program. In fact, Corey Close's mantra has been that they just need to go 1-0. So how do the UCLA Bruins get that one so that they're not done?
And so for them to come in and really be confident and get the scoring and the defense they needed in that big game is sort of what you want going into a Final Four.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happened in the past. We are coming in with our absolute best effort, and we are going to win this game. And they're a very confident team right now, and I think that makes them even scarier.
Yeah, and it seems like the biggest game of the two. All eyes are on the #1 overall seed. All eyes are on the most storied program. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks so much, Bella, for stopping by to break it down.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Good stuff there from Bella. And I got to tell you, this UCLA, UConn, and even the matchups in the Final Four period, I think are going to be very, very interesting, very intriguing. I think a little bit closer than all of us think. But for me, I'm going to swing the UConn way. I'm sorry, Mo. I'm sorry, friend. But yeah, I think when you guys are talking, I was listening, we're talking about Paige Beckers, right? And yeah, she may not be the person that has to do it all, but I do think that there's something about her effect when she doesn't have the ball. So many times in the first half of last night's game, we saw the Paige Beckers that I think has the X factor in a different way that's going to maybe swing it for UConn.